Farmhouse Fix-Up Part 2, where we are turning our 1870s farmhouse into something we will love. So unfortunately, we took a few days off from work and needed to go back to work. So my parents said, hey, guess what? We can go for a day and tackle some stuff for you. So they decided to do that bathroom that had all of the blue tub and sink and toilet in it. And here they are pulling all that down and getting rid of it. Thank God for my mom, who's like, hey, maybe I should take some video and some pictures. So that's what she did here. My dad's pulling off tiling right here on the side. There was between 2 to 5 inches of concrete underneath the floor that they had to deal with and dig up and basically hammer out of there. So here is the before and the after once they were done, and the before and the after too. You can see through all of these rooms, which is crazy. We came back a few days later and it was camper move-in day. We were paying for storage, but now we have a barn to put it in, which is so exciting. My dad decided to pull up the tile in the kitchen finally. And unfortunately, the board they had underneath that tile was held down by a bunch of screws. So my dad's trying to pull them out and they did not want to budge, and he ended up ruining 1 to 2 bits. And so we just said, never mind, we'll just let our builder figure it out. Unfortunately, it actually ended up working out. So here I am back in that bedroom with the one exterior wall I needed to finish. Like I said, I had a new technique. You just kind of hammer and score it and then pull, and it came out in bigger chunks. And then my mother and father-in-law and Jordan were in the other room. They were making good work and quick work of the other room. So we were able to actually finish this up and headed upstairs and started on one of the bedrooms up there. More lath and plaster up here, guys. So here we go into demo day 7, which is kind of more like demo day 8 because, again, we were not able to make it one of the days, but our parents, meaning both sets of parents, came and they knocked out the whole entire upstairs for us, which was such a nice surprise to come back to. It was really great to have all this done, seeing as that was kind of like the next major thing we had to do before doing the ceiling. So here you see me panning around the 2 bedrooms upstairs. Earlier in the video you saw the staircase was all knocked out, and then as I pan downward, you will see that they kind of did a little bit of the attic space and, staircase space right there. So kind of kept working on that, pulling the rest of the base trim that was behind the walls out from the upstairs bedrooms. And then this is where it gets a little bit messy. You'll see that a bunch of plaster falling, and that was my dad knocking out more of the walls and some of the ceiling upstairs. So here he is knocking out more of that lath and plaster that's over that, that door area that went upstairs. And then we rented this machine that's supposed to suck out insulation. If you guys saw what I've been calling the messy insulation, we rented this machine that has a really long hose, and we were gonna run it through, we did run it through our, the window that's upstairs in the attic, and it goes straight into the dumpster. So here's Jordan sucking out some of the insulation. Honestly, save your money or just find a better one than we did. It took multiple hours for Jordan to just do half of the space above the kitchen. You can see it going into that dumpster, and it's really messy, as it's always been. So then my dad and I worked on the, the living room ceiling. He is such a powerhouse when it comes to this. He just goes right at it, and I ended up quitting because he was just knocking it all around me, and I was just like, you're much better at this than I am. So just kind of let it do himself. And on to demo day 8. So we got to the house about 9 a.m. and somehow my parents had been there since 7 and knocked down both the ceilings in the previous bathroom and the laundry room. They are just absolute rock stars. So we moved over to the addition where the 2 bedrooms were before. Jordan's checking out in the ceiling to see what's up there. And it just turned into be rolled and blown in insulation, which made it messy, but of course I had to check it out too. Maybe there was $1 million up there, I don't know. So here we are pulling down the ceiling. It was very messy. We had someone down below with a garbage bag, so hopefully the person on the ladder could just stick it in there, but it didn't really work as well as we were hoping. Here's a big piece coming down. Jordan decided to fling his, I guess, at his dad. Good thing he missed him, but here's the insulation. Like I said, there's blown in on top of that rolling rolls of insulation, which you could see there. You can see more here as we keep pulling more out. Here's another big piece coming down. I have a lot of these just because it was really satisfying to watch the ceiling come down, and it was all drywall. So some more big pieces coming down. They were kind of reaching ahead of where the pieces were to try and make it as clean as they could and just pull it down all at once. Just a little break. They were actually harvesting the corn in our field, which was kind of fun to watch and, out the windows as we were doing that. And then there were a lot of wooden stoves in this house, at least 3 that we know of that still had some vents. So this is the vent for the one in the living room that they're pulling out. It went into that addition, and it is a massive piece of, metal that is coming out. As you can see, there's 3 of them that are trying to keep it so Jordan doesn't fall off the ladder. And it eventually comes out. There's obviously more to it, but it was just a massive vent. So while everyone was working on everything else, just because I was standing around and I felt very useless, started pulling nails from the ceiling in the living room, and it just was a lot of work. And then you can see the dust flying around. This is the rooms we just pulled all the ceiling out of, and I'm cleaning up in between each of the studs. And then Jordan and his dad started pulling down the plaster from the dining room ceiling. We were leaving the lath just because we didn't want to make too big of a mess because this is toward the end of the day. And here's them pulling down some more of that plaster. They actually got it all and left the last. So here is the end of part 2, which I actually had to split into 2 different videos because it was going to be like a 10-minute long video. So this is the kitchen floor completely demoed and the living room ceiling completely demoed. The living room is done now, which is very exciting. And here is the 2 bedrooms on the addition. This is what's becoming the master suite, if you remember. So it's going to be our bathroom, walk-in closet, and our bedroom. Ceiling all pulled down. All the walls are completely down to studs, cleaned up, and this is going to look so good. We cannot wait to see this one completely finished. Here is the dining room. Lath is still up, but will be taken down in the next part. So if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, comment, or subscribe below, and thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.